Here's how to simply isolate an objection. Let's say that prospect says it's too expensive. What you want to first do is listen. You want to let them know that you're listening to them and that you understand where they're coming from. So something I like to say is, I hear you, I understand, tell me everything. The second step is you want to agree. The reason why you want to agree with the prospect is because you want to let them know that you're on their side and you're not against them. Because typically, if the prospect feels like you're against them, then it's just going to feel like an all-out war, and then the sale is never going to go anywhere. So what I usually like to say is, you're right, it is expensive. The third step is you want to isolate. The reason why you want to isolate is because you want to figure out if there's any other hidden concerns or objections that this prospect may have that's causing them to say it's too expensive. So now what you can say to isolate the objection is, now aside from the money, aside from it being too expensive, is there any other concerns that you may have that's possibly stopping you from moving forward? Number one, they're probably going to tell you their other concerns, or number two, they're probably just going to say, it's just too expensive, I don't have the money. Now, the fourth step is to validate. This step means that you want to validate it and make sure that it's the real objection that they're having and they're not just stalling. My favorite validation is to say, well, the fact that it's too expensive, that wouldn't keep you from moving forward though, would it? Now, after saying this can go one of two ways. The first way is the prospect says, no, it wouldn't. Then you guys both move forward and you close the deal. Now, the other way is that the prospect will say, yes, it would keep me from moving forward. And now you want to figure out why that is, right? This leads me into my fifth step, which is probe. This means that you want to figure out the why behind the not moving forward. And some questions I like to use when probing are, really, why is that? Or, when you say it's too expensive, what exactly do you mean by that? Now, after asking this question, this leads into my sixth step, which is discuss, where you two will both discuss on why this will stop them from moving forward, and you can then help them overcome their concerns. Now, while you're discussing, if it's a too expensive objection, something I like to ask them is, aside from the money, is this something that you think would work for you? Then more than likely they're going to say yes, and they're going to tell me exactly on why this will work for them and why this will benefit them. While doing this, they are literally going to be selling themselves on why this will work for them and why this is a product or service for them. Now, after they tell you their reasons on why they want to move forward, you want to ask them, how do you think you can resolve that where you can fund the money so that you can insert their goal? The reason why this question is so important to ask is because their goal is here, they're right here, and the only way for them to get here is if they can find the funds for your product or service that's going to help them. Now, once you ask them this question, they'll let you know of ways on how they can find the funds so that they can get to their goal. This leads me into my seventh and last step, which is close. Now, once you guys figure out on ways on how they can find the money in order for them to use your product or service that's going to help them get to their goal, you can ask this closing question here. Where do you think we should go from here? Or would it be appropriate to take the next steps? Now, while asking these questions, this leaves the ball in their hands for them to make the decision and you not sound like a pushy salesman. If you're a sales rep or a business owner, follow me for more value.